Coming home from that experience really it made me feel alive again after such a long time of a lot of sleeping, a lot of sadness, a lot of that sort of those darker times.
Yeah.
And I came home really like starting to feel energized again.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jodi Richardson, and this is Well, Hello Anxiety. In a world that often moves too fast, we're here to pause, breathe, and understand anxiety together. Each episode will explore practical strategies, share honest conversations, and uncover the science behind anxiety and well-being, all while creating a space where it's okay to not be okay. Let's continue this journey together. Today's guest is so inspirational, and I can't wait for you to meet her. We've just been having a chat off air, and oh goodness, she is just an extraordinary woman. Workplace trauma as a high school teacher left her. Her name's Amanda Battle. She's absolutely brilliant. Left her suffering PTSD with chronic fatigue, unable to work for 2 years. And there were days when all she could manage was floating in the ocean. And what's so brilliant about this story is, well, I'll talk to Amanda about a little bit about where she was, but I'm so keen to focus on where she's at now and how she got kind of from the lowest of lows to living a really purpose-filled life and just living an absolute dream. You'll just be so excited to hear this story. An unexpected invitation actually to a freediving retreat and a chance meeting with an underwater photographer, and finally finding peace underwater changed everything for Amanda. Today, she joins us from Perth in Western Australia, but she travels the world photographing hundreds of women in the ocean as part of her stunning project, Women of Water. This is a storytelling project and culminated in a beautiful coffee table book, 160 pages of a book sharing ocean-centred stories for more than 100 women. And Amanda launched it, and I love this, on her 50th birthday in March 2025. So what Amanda's been doing is helping other women through their own grief and changes in identity and motherhood and mental health challenges. And together they've found calm and connection and strength and so much healing through their shared love of the water. So Amanda, it doesn't escape me that your surname is Battle, Amanda Battle. You're joining us from Perth. Thank you so much. And it's been a bit of a battle, hasn't it?
Thank you, Jodi, first of all, for that beautiful introduction. It's not lost on me, my last name. I always say to my parents, I'm like, why couldn't we have a surname like Harmony or, joy or love,
Yes,
And
yes.
it is quite a rare last name, but it's made me quite strong, that's for sure.
You are. You're really extraordinary. And when I first learned of your story and your journey, the one thing that really struck a chord with me, I mean, so much of it, but the first thing that sort of stood out for me was the free diving. I want to come to that later because I'm fascinated by it, because that feels like the worst thing that I could possibly ever do to myself as a woman with anxiety. So I really, really want to talk to you about that. But before we do, can you just paint a bit of a picture for us as to, after the traumatic kind of workplace experience that you endured, you were struggling a lot with your mental health. Can you give listeners an idea of kind of what life was like for you kind of in the time following that event?
Yeah. Look, there was a lot of sleeping, as I have now learnt about obviously my nervous system regulating back to a baseline.
Yeah.
So my nervous system was in a constant state of fight or flight for possibly years, not
Yeah.
even just a short amount of time, just absolutely in a constant state of arousal for a very long time. So once I sort of stepped away from that environment, I went into complete shutdown. Like, I've never felt so exhausted in my life. And some of those days were just literally filled with just walking down. I'm very lucky. I live right near a beautiful beach in Shoalwater, and my day would be just literally walking down there with my beautiful old dog who isn't with me anymore, but
Mm.
she was a very big part of my healing journey at that time. And we'd potter down to the beach together and we'd have a swim and I'd come home, and that would be pretty much all I could manage some days,
Mm.
was just to be in the ocean and have a swim. And then, yeah, I'd either read if I could try and stay awake for a long
Yes.
time. And it just seems because I'm such an active person, right? And I surf and I do lots of, I've always been heavily involved in my own community. I've taught yoga for years. So yeah, just going down to the ocean and back, I'd be exhausted. So yeah, there was a lot of sleeping.
A lot of sleeping. And when I think about the nervous system and the arousal, when that arousal is chronic, the brain puts us into shutdown. And I had the experience of chronic anxiety and then major depressive disorder, which is the nervous system just going, hey, I just can't deal with this anymore. We have to kind of really make a significant change. And so really hard when you've been a working woman and you're a mum and you're an active member of the community, as you say, yoga teacher, you had so much going on. It's really lovely to meet you when that's very much in the rearview mirror for you. Although, of course, mental health is, we're not always feeling vibrant and vivacious and flourishing. We have ups and downs, of course, but to know how far you've come from feeling like you couldn't even finish your shopping at the supermarket and just that hypervigilance, it's really nice. And I know listeners will be really keen to learn more about kind of this, how things started to change, because you'd had this beautiful opportunity to be in the water every day, and it's just so restoring, especially if it's a bit chilly. But I'm curious about the kind of the evolution from being able to go and get in the water and have a little sort of swim around each day, and to take your dog. What was your dog's name, Amanda?
Oh, don't make me cry.
Oh, sorry.
Look, I'm already going to start crying. Her name was Abby.
Abby, beautiful Abby.
Yes, she was. She was my angel.
Oh, they are. I've actually done a couple of episodes where I've interviewed people who were talking about paw therapy, and dogs are very dear to my heart as well. The idea of the blue therapy, because we know how important nature is, and the ocean and the water is a part of nature. But tell us about how you kind of like found blue therapy made a difference for you, and about the invitation to the freediving retreat, because I am fascinated to hear more about this.
Okay. Blue therapy is a concept or an idea, which is backed by scientific research, which is amazing, is the idea that we're immersed in nature, and especially in environments with water. So there's a lot of beautiful, scientific research coming out now around the benefits of being, especially in the ocean with the salt water. So the ions, the negative charge of the ocean, and also just allowing our minds to sort of settle into that rhythm of the ocean. So it's more around us getting out of our head and breaking that loop of, when we are in some sort of, negative thoughts, or in a state of overwhelm, or anxiety, or depressive state. There's beautiful research now going, when we go to the ocean and into nature, that we really sort of break that loop, and it brings us back into the sensation of the water. Yeah. So we
Yes.
connect we connect on a physical level with the actual sensation of being in the water, of that feeling. Our mind sort of comes into that state, into that flow state. And being a surfer, I've been a surfer from when I was, a teenager. It's called the flow state. So we're in that very present moment. We can't think about anything else. So yeah, it's been a big part of my life, but I didn't realize until I went through what I went through, actually how much it really was a massive big part of my is still a big part of my life.
It really is, isn't it? And you talk about the circuit breaker nature of being in water, and there's a really beautiful saying, get out of your head and into your body. It's such a lovely way, like you say, to become present, because when we're struggling with overwhelm or PTSD, as you have, anxiety, and the what we're thinking about and paying attention to really makes a big difference for how our body responds. And so it was just obviously something that you intuitively knew was good for you, and to trot down there each day with Abby and to have the time and the space then to come back and sleep and just rest and heal, and then receive an invitation to a free diving retreat. So who invited you, and how far kind of post the kind of workplace trauma were you at this point when you got this invitation and you felt that you could say yes and actually move further away from the house and be a little bit more open to possibilities?
So I used to own a yoga studio, funnily enough. And I've taught yoga for a very long time and studied all over the world, in India and all those sorts of places. So I had a team of yoga teachers that worked for me at the studio, 5, 6, 7 years ago this was. And I met this beautiful young lady who, bounded into my studio, and she'd just been living in Thailand, and she was a freediving instructor.
Wow.
And a yoga teacher. Yeah. So I instantly put her on my team because I was just so inspired by this beautiful young lady. Her name was Emma. If she's listening, she knows how important she is to me and how pivotal she was in this whole adventure and this whole journey. And yeah, it was her birthday, and we were sitting around her fire, drinking red wine. And she said to me, why don't you come up to do a freediving course with me in Exmouth in a couple of months or something? I can't remember the timing, but anyway, she showed me this level 1 freediving getaway up in Exmouth, and she said, I used to work with the owner of the freediving school, Kyra, in Thailand. I was like, I said, freediving. I said, what's all this about? I said, it's just snorkeling, right? Surely.
Not quite.
Yeah, not quite. So I'd been a scuba diver. So I, have scuba dived all over the world as part of my Little Mermaid connection.
Yes.
And I thought, that actually looks really interesting. And I'm a big believer when things align for you. It's like a full body yes.
Yes.
When it just goes, oh,
yeah.
Wow, what's that? So it piqued my curiosity very much so. And I thought, So I thought, you know what? I have quite a lot of time on my hands at the moment. I'm not doing anything really apart from just swimming around the ocean and maybe, managing a surf when I could. And I thought, I love Exmouth, and I literally signed up the next day.
Oh, goodness. And Exmouth is north of Perth on the Western Australian coast, correct?
Correct.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. The listener that isn't familiar with freediving and might be thinking, isn't it just snorkeling? Tell us about freediving.
Yeah. At first I was like, is it just snorkeling? It's just, doing on the top. However, no, I was very, very humbled, and very, very soon realized it is. I mean, it's it's a sport. It's an obsession.
Yes.
So I went up to Exmouth, which is on the Ningaloo coast. So,
the Ningaloo. Oh gosh, that's where the whale sharks are. Yes,
Correct,
yes,
correct. Yeah, yeah. So it's a very special place in
yeah.
itself, in its own right. And I've been visiting Exmouth for over 20 odd years, you know. So yeah, so it's a little bit different from snorkeling because you're diving on one breath
Mm,
to a particular depth or where you feel comfortable. And it's, you know, very much based around safety. It's very much based around your mind
yes.
really focusing. It's like it just closes off all those little tabs, I like to call them, you know, like the computer
Oh,
tabs on
yes.
your. It's like you cannot think of anything else when you're 20 meters underwater
On one breath.
on one breath.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the highest form of meditation I have ever experienced.
I can only imagine. One of the things that I'm thinking about is when we're anxious, and I don't know if you are still feeling a lot of anxiety, but it can greatly affect our breathing. We breathe in a really shallow way, we get air hunger, we're just not having that beautiful gas exchange we need to remain feeling good and feeling satisfied with the air coming in and out of our body. Did you find that was an issue for you at all when you began? And yeah, and if you did, what did you do about it?
Beautiful question. Thank you. I really love that. Yeah, your breath. That has been, and I mean, obviously studying yoga for so long and pranayama, it was a beautiful connection for me. But the thing about free diving is that it's all about being in the most relaxed state you possibly can be.
Mm.
So you want to shut down, you want to conserve energy, you want to conserve oxygen. Yeah. So it's actually like the most chill sport in the world.
But also the most extreme, one of the most extreme. Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm very happy at my little personal best of 20 meters. That's it. That's for
Wow,
me.
that's very
Um,
impressive. Yes.
yeah, but I mean, you know, some people go to, you know, 100, you know, over 100 meters or 80 meters or 60 meters. It just blows my mind. But
I think I've
um,
probably watched any and every documentary, Netflix show, uh, video I can find. I'm fascinated by it. I think it terrifies me, but it is extraordinary. If you've not seen anything to do with freediving, take a look. And what you said about being relaxed, that's something that really, because you have to dive to a point with some effort. You're wearing fins and the like, and you've got a rope, but there's a point at which almost the gravity underneath it's not, it's the pull of the water means it's quite effortless after about, I think, 30 meters, maybe 30, 35 meters. And then,
15.
oh, it's only 15. So you got to experience that. Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
it's just like, it looks so relaxed. But also you're diving away from the surface where the oxygen is if you need to re-onboard some oxygen. So,
Correct.
yeah, so tell us a little bit more about the preparation and the training that you enjoyed as a part of it. Maybe you didn't enjoy it as a part of preparing, and how you started, what sort of the first dive was, and at what point you were able to progress to deeper depths.
So it is definitely a progression, and it's mainly a very mental game.
Mm,
Yeah. The freediving school that I did all my training with is the most supportive, the most nurturing. It's not about chasing numbers, it's women led.
right, yes. Yeah.
So, beautiful Kyra from Salty Hearts Freediving in Exmouth will literally. I love how she pushes you a little bit, but it's always around safety and it's always around, you know, your own limitations. And that's the most beautiful thing I think freediving has given me was the fact that it allows you to really face, you know, where you're sort of sitting in terms of, you know, your mental game, your physical game, all those sorts of things. So,
Mm.
Yeah, it's amazing, like amazing feeling being, first of all, you don't have any tanks, you don't have any, regulators. So when you scuba dive, you still hear your breath, that,
Yes.
that I call it
Yes.
the Darth Vader
It's a really great descriptor.
sort of, yeah, yeah. Whereas with free diving, nothing,
Silent.
nothing.
Yeah.
And I had such a profound moment at my first 10 meters. So my level one, well, when you do level one, it's a 10-meter depth that,
Yes.
that
Okay.
you, and yeah, there were times where, I would dive down and I would get all in my head and be like, I can't breathe. Oh my God, that sort of thing. And you just come up.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And safety, someone that is always diving with you. There's always someone there with you. You're never alone, especially in the ocean, let's face it.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yeah.
I had such a profound moment at my first 10 meters. Kyra, who was like eye to eye to me, she goes, listen. So, using
Oh,
her,
yes. The sign language under the water.
she was
Yes.
like, listen. And I stopped and I could hear the whales. So the humpback whales were migrating through at the time, and you could hear the whale song crystal clear. And it was because I was so focused on getting to that depth. I was like, I'm sort of like a little bit of a Labrador puppy. I want to get the ball. Like, I'm like, okay, go.
Yes.
Yes. Like, I'm like, go get the
Yes.
ball. And I'm like, okay, go get the ball. And then I stopped and I just was like, the whales. And I didn't realize you could actually cry underwater.
Oh,
I just,
wow.
which is hard because when you're crying, you want to like that. So it's like,
You've got to, yeah, yeah. Hold it, hold it. Oh, I've got tears in my
yep,
eyes now. Oh,
I
that's just
know.
beautiful. It just,
It was
yeah.
the most, I will, if I leave this earth tomorrow, that will be one of the things I will take with me, apart from the fact, my beautiful daughter being born. But
Yes.
it was just such a profound moment, and it was just everything to me. And I came up and Kyra's like looking at me like she's so excited. She's just the most amazing. Like she gets so excited about everything. She's just like,
Gosh.
and that was it. I was hooked.
Yes.
That was me. Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
this is it. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Oh, honestly,
Mm,
I can only imagine I've scuba dived before, but I have an anxiety about what's around me in the water.
mm,
When I was scuba diving, I was very lucky to get a significant amount of time scuba diving, often around the barrier reef. And I just couldn't leave the side of the instructor. I was just so frightened. And
mm,
I was really young and my anxiety was terrible. And I just, like, my mental health had been really at its worst. And so I was pretty fragile. But I did, once I settled, the peace that comes to you when you're under the water is unlike anything else, isn't it? Not to mention what's under there to be seen, although you were no doubt in very deep water and I'm not sure what you could see around you, but just the peace and quiet. It's just absolutely, you've got to experience it to know it. Obviously, it's hard to describe in words, but
mm.
it's really, you just never know which direction life's going to take you, do you? You knew you loved the water and you were a mermaid at heart. And on that trip, was that the trip you met the photographer as well? Oh, tell us about that. What was the name of the photographer? Because that's just another step towards
Oh,
where you're at
oh
now,
my
isn't it?
God.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
okay, get the
Her
tissues.
name, her name is Amy Jan, and she is a full-time photographer in Exmouth, and she works on one of the whale shark boats. So,
Oh,
and she
yes.
also works with the freediving school. And so part of the whole experience was Amy would come out and take photos on the course
Yeah,
of us freediving.
yeah.
When I saw those photos, me with the fins, and I'm just like immersed in
The deep
the
blue.
biggest, the deepest of blue.
Yeah.
it just really sparked this deep, like something deep inside of me. I was just like, is that me? Like, oh
Mm.
my goodness, what an absolute gift. I've never seen such a beautiful photo of myself. Like I just was like in awe of this stunning photo. And I just fell in love. I just was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you do
How do you
that?
do that? Oh.
So, yeah, so she was an amazing part of the journey as well. So it was all just these little gifts that were dropping in for me.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm still so lucky. I just only spent, a couple of weeks with them just recently, just in the
Oh.
last few weeks. Yeah, I see them all the time. They're not going to get rid of me now.
No, you're part of the Salty Hearts freediving family for sure. For
Yes,
sure, and
yeah,
and no doubt
yeah.
conversations like these will put those experiences or that sort of experience on people's bucket list.
Mm,
After today, I'm already sort of thinking about it myself because I don't like anxiety to stand in the way of the things that are really important. And
mm.
so yeah, I'm just going to sort of like clock that one for now. And so you found this experience of freediving that has just really been a life changing trip for you in so many ways. What was the next step towards the Women of Water project? Because what you have created and what you've brought to the lives of other women is so very special and
Mm.
incredibly healing, and it takes a big idea and a big heart, lots of courage to kind of say I'm going to do this and then get started. Tell us more about the Women of Water project, please, and kind of how it came to you.
Thank you. Well, I think coming home from that experience really sort of it made me feel alive again after such a long time of a lot of sleeping, a lot of sadness, a lot of that sort of those darker times.
Yeah.
And I came home really like starting to feel energized again. Like there was a part of me, there was a part of Amanda that was found, you know, in that experience. It was like I reconnected back to my true nature and my essence.
Yes.
That, as part of my process of healing, I see a psychiatrist, I see a psychologist. I've been doing lots of work with therapy and different modes of therapy. And as much as that sort of helped me cognitively understand what was going on with my body, my nervous system, and my heart, it
Mm.
was more about there was just something that deeply connected, on a real deep level. It was like this is your next. There's something here for you.
Yes.
I felt excited again about life. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like imagine being an underwater photographer.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, imagine.
Stop! Imagine! How
Yeah.
cool!
So cool. And knowing the experience that you'd had, the joy of being underwater in a way that you'd never been before,
Yeah.
the the experience of seeing images of you in the deep blue, vertical with your flippers on the way down, free diving, to know that you could bring that to other people, whether it's free diving, whether it's surfing, whatever it is. I know
Mm,
that you do underwater pregnancy photography as well. Is so much to
yeah.
talk about,
Yeah.
but yeah, the healing in you, but what you're bringing to other people's lives. Was that were you clear on that at the beginning that that would be a part of it, or was it more just like you've got this sense of purpose and you're just going to follow it?
Mm. Well, as things sort of unfolded, I came home and I had an old camera that I had been traveling around. So when I was, working and traveling in India and all through Bali and with my yoga days,
Yes.
I would always be the
Unofficial?
photographer,
Ah, yep.
unofficial photographer.
Okay, yes.
And I actually studied photography back in high school when you had the dark
Oh
room
my
and you
gosh,
developed.
yes. Yes.
I
I,
know,
I had
because
a
I just want.
boyfriend who did photography and I'd go into the dark room. Not for anything like serious, it was so innocent. But honestly I would
Sure.
just it's true.
Remember, I taught high school for a
You
very
taught
long
high
time.
school. Honestly,
I
I
know
was
what
just
happens in those
oh my
dark
gosh,
rooms.
I'm sure it does, but I was not a part of it. But I'm such a nerd. I was just like, show me what you're doing. I want to know all about it. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
those were the days back in school where it was real and raw photography and developing prints in
Correct.
a way
Correct. There
that's
was no
yeah.
there was no digital
No,
cameras
gosh,
when I
no.
was learning photography. So, and it just happened to be that I was down the my local beach, and I had my little nephew with me, and I took him to the park,
Yeah.
and down at the park was another beautiful little angel that dropped into this story. And her name is Sarah, and she's
Yeah.
a local photographer who takes photos of all the beautiful dolphins. So we have a
Oh,
series of islands here, and seals and penguins and lots of beautiful wildlife. And we have a wildlife like a dolphin tour here.
yes.
And she was the photographer on the boat and taking all these amazing photos. Like, I was just obsessed with her work. It was just stunning. And she happened to be at the park at the same time I was, with her beautiful children.
Wow.
So I was like, "Oh, Sarah, I've just come back from this free diving." And the same people were doing an underwater photography getaway. So, like, learning underwater photography in the Ningaloo. And I was like, I
Oh
have
my
to
gosh,
go.
sign me up.
Yeah. Again,
Yes.
every cell in my body was going, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? Like, should I just buy a GoPro? Should I just try and use my old camera? Like, I didn't even think it could, I could buy a housing for it or any. I had no idea about
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So I bumped into Sarah down at the park, and I'm like, Sarah, let me pick your brain. I've just, I want to do this underwater photography. What gear should I do? I should just get a GoPro. And she looks at me and she goes, you wouldn't believe it. She says, I've just upgraded all my gear and I'm selling my professional setup. Come and have a look. And
Oh
I
my
just was like,
gosh.
are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah, come. What are you doing now? Come and have a look. Let's go have, I'll show it to you. So I was like, oh my God.
Unbelievable.
So here I went, off I went, and I bought her amazing underwater camera setup. So with the housing, the full frame camera, and a Canon 5D Mark II and a Quadica housing with this big, beautiful dome on it. And it looked all very
Oh
impressive. And I was like,
wow. Gosh, kid in a candy
I had,
store.
I had all the gear and no
Yeah.
idea.
I've been there. Yeah.
Right, right. And that's literally how I started. So my
Yeah.
morning walks down to the beach with my dog started. I would bring my camera and I would go and take photos of my dog in the water to
Mm.
start to practice.
Yeah.
And they were all out of focus. They were all terrible.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought, how hard can this be?
Harder than you thought by the sounds.
It's pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, getting a good photo on land's hard enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's how I started. And then I went back up to Exmouth with all my gear. I'd love to tell you the other story where I flooded the camera.
oh
Only, oh
no.
yeah, I've done it all. I've done all the mistakes. So it's all
Gosh.
good. But so then, yeah, I just started to take more and more and more photos. So I went back up to Exmouth with the beautiful salty hearts with Kyra, and Amy was up there. And that was really good to start to learn, the different things about the settings and this, and I did an online course and, because I'd only ever done film photography and an old camera that I had.
Yes.
So yeah, so it was just a massive, big learning curve for me. And my nervous system loved it because I love learning.
Yes.
I'm a learner, I'm a teacher at heart.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and so I just went through this massive big growth of learning a new skill. And I had no idea that it was going to lead to a new career at all. I just was just really loving getting out of my head again in, what had happened.
Yeah.
It was giving me something to look forward to every day and something to do and connect with people again. And it was getting me out of the house a bit. And it was, yeah, it was just exactly what I needed. It was just a beautiful little stepping stone.
It really was, wasn't it? And the connecting with people part is such an important part of that healing. But when you're feeling like you were, you don't want to connect. You don't want to talk. You don't want to see anyone. You don't want to answer questions. You just want to hide. You just want to withdraw. And you were so shut down, as you said, that you don't want to communicate. And so I can, it's so beautiful, isn't it, to look back and look at all the little times and people and experiences that kind of just one by one fell into place, and you listened to how you felt. And I think that's so, we know, like, we know the book The Body Keeps the Score. We know how we feel in our nervous system. We get that gut feeling, and we need to listen. We need to listen when it says no. When sometimes it'll say no just because it's an opportunity or a challenge or it's something exciting and new, and the body's like, ah. And so we need to know the difference between when our body sort of says, oh, I'm not sure about this, because it's new and it's uncertain, but it's safe, versus when we are potentially in danger, maybe at 11 meters under the water, free diving when you're just starting.
Correct. Yes.
But also the idea that you were just able to listen to your body, like, totally light up and just know it was a full body yes, and no hesitation, no doubt. And I use the expression, when you just sort of follow your nose, it's just kind of like I'm just following, I'm just following this scent, if you like, to stick with the metaphor, and seeing where it takes me. And and to, it's what's brought us here together. I want to know, once you started to build the skills, no doubt through so much practice, and it's so good to just normalise how terrible you were to begin with, because we're all terrible at the beginning. Of course we are.
Absolutely.
There's a huge learning curve for anything. I mean, underwater photography, goodness me. What was the turning point when you thought, I want to do a coffee table book. I want to actually, like, bring other women into this. You were then, like, searching for that community and inviting people into your life. So it shows how far you'd come. How did that come about?
Yeah. So once I sort of started just really, honing in on the photography side of things, I'm a surf coach. So I work with a lot of women surfing and,
Yes.
that sort of thing. So my local surf school down in Secret Harbour, I just said to Az, who's the owner, I said, oh, do you mind? How about if I just bring my camera and I'll start taking some photos and, see how we go, that sort of thing. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. Again, how hard can it be?
Famous last words.
So surf photography is a whole nother level.
Yeah. Oh,
because
my gosh, everything's moving.
You've got someone moving, and also then you've got water, but then you've also got water over the dome.
Can't picture the dome. I need to have a bit more of an understanding about the dome you've referenced.
My camera, or a full frame camera, goes into an underwater housing.
Yes, kind of like a clear plastic sort of box, for want of a better word, expression. Yes, yeah.
Correct, yeah. So it's fully functional. So my camera is then waterproof, to however many meters it's rated. So mine is about 15 meters. So
Yes.
there's other ones that can go way deeper, but for the purpose of what I'm shooting,
Yes.
I don't shoot a lot deeper than that. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's an underwater housing that sits over your camera. So it's quite nerve-wracking taking a $3,000 or $5,000 worth of camera gear
Yes.
with the lens as well
Yes.
into an environment which can literally, destroy it within
Yes.
2 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of trust involved.
You want to make sure you've done that housing up properly. The seals are good. Totally.
Correct,
Yes.
correct, correct. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just sort of started taking photos down at the beach. I'd grown up with surfing with quite a few women down at my local surf beach, and I just sort of put the call out. I was like, come and I'll take some photos of us in the water, and started a little Instagram page. And it was just really just sort of connecting, because that had been a big part of my journey as well, was
Yes.
was surfing and healing through surfing and the free diving. So again, they were pretty crap. Like I look back at them now, I'm like, but
Delete
I thought
those
they
from
were great.
Instagram.
I
No, I'm
I thought
joking.
I thought I thought they were amazing, right?
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like, oh my God, look at these
yes.
amazing photos. But I mean, as you know, your skill grows, and now I
Totally.
look at it and I think, oh, look how far I've
Look
come.
how far I've come. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I remember coming home from a particular day, and I think I was doing an underwater photos with the actual same lady, the beautiful lady. She was just fallen pregnant. So she was
Oh,
pregnant,
wow.
Emma. So I was taking photos of her pregnant underwater.
Gosh.
And I came home and I was all inspired, and I was like, I love this so much. And I just started thinking about the whole story and all the little beautiful little parts of everyone who came along the way where I had been. And I just thought it just was like a download. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to photograph as many women as I can in the ocean. And for some reason, I just was like, women of water. We're women
Yeah.
of water.
Yeah.
Actually, this is my self-portrait.
I can see the
So
photo. Yes, behind you.
when I did an exhibition, so I signed up for a camera mentoring program called Camera Queens, and
Oh.
we had to do a self-portrait, and this was one of the portraits I took on my old gear in the water with my dog when I was
Oh,
practicing, and
wow.
it's like a little half split shot.
Yes.
And I called it at the time, this was years ago, I called it I am, it had to be I am.
Oh,
And it was like,
yes.
I am a woman of water.
I am a woman of water. Gosh. The
Yeah. So
OG
that's where
underwater
it sort
selfie.
of, that idea started, like I am a
Yes.
woman of water, that sort of thing. And then I was like, why don't I do a book?
Why not? Wow.
And that's how it
And
started.
that's how it started. And you're so like you've sought that expertise of others along the way. You've done the online course, you've gone and done the underwater photography course back at Exmouth, you've sought out the mentor for your photography. So you were just so devoted to, elevating your skills and to a point where you've now published Women of Water, which is a 160-page coffee table book, which is just such a huge accomplishment, but so meaningful for you because of your beautiful personal journey, but also for the women who you photographed, because you talked to them. They shared their stories, haven't they? Also, Can you tell us a little bit about the book and what one might expect if you sort of just open to any random page?
So yeah, thank you. So the way I did it was I held Women of Water events
Right.
all up and down the coast in Western Australia. And these were free events that I connected to. So I invited as many, just put the call out on social media through my email list, for women to come and be a part of group photos.
Yeah.
So I was very transparent up front. I was like, I'm doing this project. I dedicated my whole last year, so the year of my 49th year of this on this planet.
Yes.
So I thought, if I'm going to do this, I need to do, like, there was a bigger bit of a sense of urgency for me, because I always had in my mind, how cool would it be to publish this book on my 50th birthday? So I,
Yes.
I liked, I like, I gave myself a deadline, because
Yeah.
otherwise I feel like I would have just kept going for years and years and years and years, and
Yes.
this book would just be God knows where by now.
Yes. Yes.
So honing in my little brain to a deadline, it gave me some structure, and I was like, okay, so this full year I'm going to dedicate to women of water and as many women as I can. So I held over 7 events all up and down the coast, from Exmouth down to Yellingup, Dunsborough, Secret Harbour, all those sorts of places.
Yes.
And I invited as many women as I could.
Yeah.
So we had, at the last event, there was 89 women who turned
Oh,
up.
wow.
I know, it
My
was
goodness.
crazy.
Amazing.
And they were all part of the photo shoot. So I have these amazing, so if you look into the book, you'll open it and you'll see groups of women of every day, every size, every age. I had 80-year-old women coming. I had beautiful, 5-year-old little girls coming with their
Oh,
mums, um, all in their bathers, with their surfboards, with their someone brought a kayak.
oh, cool. Yes.
Someone bought a ski. Someone bought their fins because they were a free diver. So it
Yeah.
was all just, everyone was welcome,
Yes.
that who wanted to come and be a part of it. And we started with the little breath, coming into our breath and intention setting, group photos, and then we'd go out into the water and do a paddle out, and I'd get out in the water with my camera. So I'm in water photographer in the surf.
Yes.
And then I would share the photos with the women. So then they could see themselves as I saw myself that time when I had a photo taken of me in that.
Yes.
That was the main intention for me, was to show women just how beautiful we are when we are in our joy and we are in our that moment. Like, no hair, no makeup,
Yeah.
snot hanging out of our noses,
Raw and real.
raw, real,
Yeah.
like, and just sharing those photos, and it just became a thing. So then women booked in with me one on one,
Oh,
who
right.
wanted to share their own personal stories, and that was just, whew,
Yeah.
there was some really powerful, amazing healing stories that these amazing women have shared with me that are in the book as well.
Oh,
So
goodness.
yeah, it was just such an honor to hold that, because we all have our own stories, right? And that was part of their whole healing process, was the beautiful photos of themselves and then sharing their own story.
Incredible. Amanda, I don't want to have to say goodbye, but we've run out of time. And honestly,
I know.
I know, it's gone so
I could
fast this time together. I
I
could
talk about this for hours, I
I
think.
know, and I'd love to talk to you again. Would you join me as a guest again down the track on the podcast?
Of
Oh,
course. I
great.
would love that.
Oh, that's so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Can you tell? Look, I loved looking at your Instagram, watching your reels, and gosh, you are really, as I said at the beginning, incredibly inspirational. You've sharing your healing journey in this way, and just the turn that your life took in a way that was probably very, very hard to deal with, and to where you are now. It's really brilliant, and I'm so excited for what's next for you. But I really encourage people to go and look at your Instagram, jump on your newsletter. Where can people find you online?
Thank you so much, Jodi. That's beautiful. So I have a few. my photography name is Oceans of Love
Yes.
Photography. Yes.
Yes.
Which is quite funny because that's how I used to sign off on all my newsletters when I had the
Oh,
yoga
Oceans
studio.
of
I was
Love.
Oceans of Love, Amanda. So
Oh,
it's now
wow.
my business name, so my photography business name. And then there is a dedicated Instagram page called Women of Water Project.
Okay.
So that's a separate Instagram. You can jump online. So it's womenofwater.com.au. We
Brilliant.
also have a documentary that goes along with the look at your I know I kept that one very quiet. So that's a whole nother story. Maybe we could do another
Yes,
podcast
that's
on
what we'll
that.
talk about next time.
Yeah. So
Um,
there was a documentary made on the making of Women of Water.
yes, oh my goodness. That's exactly where
Yeah.
we are going to pick up next time we
Yeah. Yeah.
connect. And of
So
course the book is for sale and people can buy it through the website, no doubt. Oh,
correct.
Amanda.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you
Thank you.
again. Honestly, I'm so grateful to you and very, very excited to come back and have another conversation with you. But thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jodi. It's been, yeah, it's been an honour. So thank you.
Oh, such a pleasure. Thanks again. Thank you for sharing this time with me on, well, hello, anxiety. Remember, understanding anxiety is the first step to managing it. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Take things one moment at a time. Focus on what you can control and know that you are not alone on this journey. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone who might need to hear it too. I'm Dr. Jodi Richardson, and I'll meet you right back here next week.